I'm excited to announce the co-author of Sales 2.0, founder and CEO of Reality Works Group, Anneke Seley, joined by Sharisa Franklin. Anneke has been a champion of inside sales for 3 decades. She and her consulting team at Reality Works Group work hands-on with clients to build or improve sales performance with inside sales and social selling. Anneke was the founder of Oracle's now multi-billion USD global inside sales organization. She is an honored recipient of several industry awards, including the American Association of Inside Sales Professionals Lifetime Achievement Award. Take it away, Anneke and Sharisa.
Hi, I'm Anneke Seley.
And I'm Sharisa Franklin.
We're going to share some of our experiences and insights today about inside sales around the world, which is a topic that we're quite passionate about, having been introduced to global thinking quite early in our careers. We want to start by offering up 3 key takeaways related to inside sales globally.
The first thing that we hope you consider as you're looking to increase your results and improve your revenue base is, as you're working through your segmentation strategy, to really think about international. If you give it some thought, what you'll realize is that international is simply another market segment with great potential.
And we learned this very early on from Larry Ellison, actually, where we met at Oracle, when we like to say Oracle was a hip, young startup company, unrecognizable in those days to many people, not like it is today. But Larry Ellison was very forward-thinking in hiring a vice president of international quite soon after starting up the company. The company was 25 people big and just a few $1 million in revenue. And when Sharisa and I met in the later part of the 80s, when we were starting up inside sales organizations internationally, the revenue was really substantial.
Absolutely. At that point, international revenue had equaled domestic revenue, and it was really a very short time frame in which that happened. And it positioned Oracle really well because they were ahead of their competitors.
Absolutely. The second thing we want to leave you with is that you can optimize by building a multilingual, centralized operation. It's a little bit daunting to think about the whole world and all the languages that are spoken, and an early strategy in entering a market is to have native speakers in their own country addressing their own customers. As the organization grows and there's more experiences, we've seen at many different companies that there are way better results when the operations are centralized.
Yes, that's really quite true. We worked with an account that actually centralized their operations in Ireland, where they were able to find talented inside sales headcount that were multilingual or that spoke a particular language in a country that they were really trying to grow and to develop in. And in one particular circumstance, over 2 quarters, we had a team that was brought in, hired, and we're on track to produce $10 million in revenue very, very quickly. One of the key things to note about that is that when you have a centralized operation like that, you actually gain more consistency and more predictability, because now you can look at results independently of particular economic issues that may exist in a particular country.
Makes sense when you think about that. Centralized management, consistent process, the same systems, all those things make a difference, and that's harder to do when you have 50 or 90 or 100 different separate operations.
Yes, absolutely.
Finally, use inside sales to test international expansion. Sharisa, you've got a great story of how we helped a client with this recently.
Yes, we have a client that in reviewing their next strategy, what we realized is that they were getting a lot of interest from outside of the country, from Germany, in fact, and they hadn't really developed that interest, nor had they thought about moving into the German market. The challenge is that they did not have any German-speaking natives, of course. Mm-hmm. And so in that particular circumstance, what we did was set in place a trial where we hired inside sales specialists and experts, as well as the management team, to test that market out. Now, obviously, they could speak the native language, so that certainly made it really very easy for them to try and sell into the German market or into the other German-speaking markets, if you will. The results of that program, and by the way, it was an A/B test with some English-speaking programs that were in place. Right. The results of that program were the reps that were hired were well ahead of their English-speaking counterparts, and it actually proved for the company that this was really a good investment for them to make. I think one of the challenges with expansion in internationally is understanding the legal rules, the headcount rules, the regulations, the cost, the pure cost of building an operation. It can sometimes be a bit daunting and a bit scary. And that's why using inside sales in a testing fashion to explore, is there the market here? Are my messages resonating with this market as well as with my American market or my English-speaking market? It's a nice way to do that.
Yeah, and especially with A/B testing and measurability, it's really nice to see those comparative results to see where to put increased investments at a lower risk.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to an investment decision. It's an investment discussion. Where do I put $1, €1, €1 to deliver some added value there? 3x, 5x, 10x.
Absolutely. And inside sales is driving a lot of revenue, as we know, and can help test international markets. It's all great stuff. It's made for that. So in summary, the 3 key takeaways for our session are:
to accelerate sales, really think about expanding internationally and where you might do that first.
The second key point is to optimize by building a multilingual, centralized operation. As you build decentralized pilots, move towards bringing everybody to a centralized place where there can be peer sharing, centralized management, consistent processes, and measurement.
And finally, use inside sales as your test mechanism to identify the best investment decision for your company.
Of course, we want to continue this conversation, and we invite you to join our LinkedIn group called International Inside Sales Leaders. We'll see you online. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much.